Okay. Hello, friends. Hello, friends. Today we have been from yesterday. I think from yesterday onwards, I have started of explaining our own individuality with the environmental system. What I have explained yesterday is the computer system as well as our own self. So how we should understand our own individuality as the computer system, and how the computer system is functioning with his own self by identifying, and what we should be taking the action regarding our own self. This explanation I have brought because to understand what is the mechanism of the computer system as well as the mechanism of our own individual as a system of the nature. So we are having the various type of the commands which will be given by the nature, and as well as the command is given by the tradition for us. The same thing, by the execution of that all traditions, the being the environment, being the execution of the computer of the environmental, we give the command for that. So the execution of the outer environmental system is applicable for us in a comfortableness of a comfortable and the execution of faster execution of our own decision with regarding the situation which is very useful for comfortable for welfare of a human being. Okay, this is how I have brought the explanation yesterday of the environmental system as a computer, and our own system as our own self individuality. So comparing of these two, I have made to our own realization how the computer goes on commanding. Same the thing our own nature has given us the commanding regarding the Bhagavad Gita. Okay, on that basis I have given the explanation regarding the outer system as well as our own individuality in a yesterday's explanation with regarding the situations. Okay, today what I will be giving the same thing, the explanation which I have given yesterday, the same thing, the explanation of that, and the relating of our own individuality with referencing with the shloka which is said in a Bhagavad Gita. Very much important to know individuality in the prospect of the system, in the perspective of the system of our own individuality, in the command of the Bhagavad Gita, in the command of the situations, in the command of our own individuality, the presence of our own individuality with reference to the environmental situation. How the system takes the system take the action regarding these all things will be taken, systems will take out a computer system. When I will be taking the system as our own self, I will be making the system as a environmental system, and our own self individuality as our own individuality. I will be making the individuality as our own self, system as a computer system in this reference. Okay, so when we come across the system, they will be taking the command from us, from the individuality. So one should know the what is the working of the software, what is the work, how the algorithm should be algorithm should be written, and what are the command of the programmatic command should be placed to execute that. We have come across the certain type of the degree holding or PG postgraduate holding. but we have forgotten the greatest digest of our own self, which gives the mastery of the life to how to command our own self. But instead of commanding our own self, instead of taking the situation of our own self in three of the command, we have reached to that. But we, in a step of that, which I am not telling that the reaching of the computer system with system is some of the confusion. But when we come across the system, we have forgot our own system, the individualistic system of our own self, with reference to commanding of our own self. So because of this, I have brought the both of the both of the situations to be taken as a techies. Especially when we come across the technology friends, we come technology friend, because I am also one of the technology background only. So I have made that, I have taken the action regarding what is the main source of ourself and what is the main source of the computer system is. The main source of our computer system is the programmatic. Yes, the main source of our own self is, we have forgot of understanding three of the gunas. How the three of the gunas? The Rajoguna, Tamoguna, Sattva guna, Rajoguna, and Tamoguna. So understanding these things, why these three understanding of the three is very much important to manage our own system, to manage our own individuality, to take the action what we have determined decision with regarding our own self, so that the system may complete their execution as faster as we expect. If we are not able to manage the command of our own self, then the error will be in our own compilation. The same error will be in the execution of the system as well. So when the system is not able to execute the commands what we have given, then we get the name called as stress. This is what the stress is. If the system is not working, if the execution is not going, if the result is not coming, if the expectation result is not coming, then we get the some of the name called the stress. What is this stress? Stress is nothing but managing of our own three gunas with the execution of our own determined decision is with individuality. So when we come across the environmental system, that is, we give the commands of that. So giving the command for the computer is also one of the important to being the manageable of our own self, individuality, determined decision. This is how the comparison I have made yesterday. So I will be giving the explanation today with regarding the Bhagavad Gita, which says various commands, in a single shloka. Okay, which says various commands in a shloka, so that one should understand the shlokas to understand our own self. So this is how our own individuality is very much important to understand the Bhagavad Gita. This is how I have made the desire of knowing the Bhagavad Gita. One should know the desire of knowing the Bhagavad Gita. What it means. What are the words it is mean from. Why the situation has created. The same thing we have managing the system of the computer system. When I am giving the system, you can understand the computer system. We have managed the system of taking the correcting of the errors, compiling errors as well as debuggings. We have taken, but we have forgot to take the one of the situation which is occurred in our own self. We are not able to understand how the situation is caused because of not taking the error as our own errors. to correction, the same small error is coming in a complexity of the execution. So this is what when the small error is coming with the execution, same with us, it has come with the execution of our own execution, complexity of the execution. This is how the stress is coming. The smallest, if you are not able to manage a small not managing, but you are not able to take the decision with regarding, we come across the same problematic situation with the coming in a time. So when we come across this time, from the smallest problem to the execution present, we come across the complexity of problematic. So when we come across these all, there is our own individuality, presence of individual, the avoiding of our own presence of our own self. We come across the word called as stress. So this is how we should be in a situation that one should be taking the action with regarding the how the situation is coming, how the situation is regarding, what the purpose of the situation is, how it is approaching. This is what one should understand: the previous one, the present one, the future one. Analyzing of these three things, you will be taking the action regarding this. So one should know these all things. Okay, so let me give you what I have explained yesterday, the same thing with the reference of that, and make the understanding of the Bhagavad Gita with related to today. Okay, explanation of that three of the concept with our one's individual. Okay, system, I have given the system as yesterday I have taken the system and also the body as our system. Today as also today same thing, I have taken the body as our own self and the system as a environmental situation, environmental computer system. Okay, so algorithm, what is the algorithm? Algorithm and a soul, so one and the same. Algorithm is nothing but we will be writing the before commanding, before giving the before writing the programmatic program to execute, we will be writing the algorithm, so that we the person, the individual should the one individual should understand what are the steps to be taken towards the what are the steps to should be taken towards the execution of the particular problem, particular program. The same thing, the soul is the one algorithm of our own body to write the three of the commands, and managing of the three of the commands, and writing the three of the programs. What are that? Three of the programs, three of the commands, three of the our own plot programs is nothing but Rajoguna, Sattva-guna, Rajoguna and Tamoguna. These three of the commands, when we come across, we are not able to understand what are the three of the words, what are the three of the guna is. These three can make the execution of our program, our own programmatic life to the execution of the Sattva guna. In particular situation, when we understand the execution of the Sattva guna, Rajoguna and Tamoguna. Okay, I am talking with related to the Sattva guna itself. Okay, when we come across the Rajoguna and Tamoguna, I will be noticing for you. Okay, debugging. What is debugging of an individual? I have taken the debugging as a system in the aspect of the prospect of the system. When we come across our own self, individuality, we come across the individuality as our own self. So individuality, what is the individuality? And debugging algorithm we have written in a system, and we come across the program and we have written the program, and the program is nothing but giving the command to the system, to execute the same thing, to take the what we expect the result from. The mechanical execution, the software, you can call it a program, is itself a software. Okay, program, when we come across the debugging, the correction, if we are not taking the expect result from the program, then we come across the debugging. So when we come across the debugging, we correct the program where it is the error is. So we come across the correction of the program, and then we will be deploying on a system. Then we will be taking the expected answer. Okay, the same thing, individuality. We should be taking our own 3 of the gunas and make the correction of how one should be taking the situation of our own self. If the person preferred Rajoguna and Tamoguna, he take the different action. I have to explain. If the person takes the Sattva Guna as his own self, he will be taking all the positiveness of his own self as well as his towards the Bharat itself, not with others. When I am talking with the not with others is nothing but the diplomatically. Okay. When we come across the Sattva Guna, we take the action towards our own self as a positiveness, and also the positiveness with the Bharat as well. If the person take the execution as positiveness of his own self as an individual, he will be making the situation of a positiveness with the execution of the ethical success of the company. When we come across the company, today I am giving the explanation regarding the system and computer system. The same system, what the system is related to the companies and IT companies. So I have taken the ethical success towards the IT company. Okay, when we come across the individuality, ethical success of our own self, you can say that ethical success of our own self. So when we come across these all things and the decision, what are the decision execution of our own self? Decision is nothing but the output of when we come across the computer. Okay, the error debugging. What we come across the error debugging after when we are not able to take the expected answer from the computer, we come across the error debugging. So we have come across the debugging. First we have come across the debugging, which we are not able to we have written the program, but somewhat we are not able to understand how the flow is. Then we will be coming the sequence wise, and we will be debugging. Yes, this is not the correct, this is not the correct. Even though if it is not coming, after manually we are checking, when we deploy on the system, even though on that system it is not working, we come across the error debugging. So when we come across the error debugging, we come across the what is the execution, where the proper execution is going towards other way. So other way is nothing but the error itself. So we come across the error debugging. Then we come across the what is the main command we should be deploying in a sentence, in a programming language. So here we come across the execution of that, and we come across the error debugging is nothing but a conflict of interest for our own self. Understand it? Conflict of interest and commitment on conflict. The error debugging is nothing but conflict of interest. If there is the conflict of interest, error debugging will be coming related to our own self. Okay, our commitment on the interest is nothing but our own self with individuality, with the Sattva Guna as our own self. When we talk of our own Sattva Guna, we come across these all things. Later I will be talking towards the Rajoguna and the Tamoguna. Okay, let us give. Firstly, body. I have taken the system as a body now. What the Bhagavad Gita says about our system, individual system. Okay, Ishvara Sarva Bhutana Vruddesharjuna Tishtati Brahma Yanhu Sarva Bhutani Yantra Rudhani Mayaya. So we are all having one of when we come across our own self individuality, the Bhagavad Gita says of our own individuality as a machine. Machine is biological machine, not the what I have explained just now. I have compared the explanation with that because of the understanding of our own individuality. But here machine is nothing but the spiritual process of our own self. Okay, let me give you the same thing what the explanations gives, so that you will be understanding the better understanding will be there. Okay, the Lord dwells in the hearts of all being, and though the force of Maya causes all being to move like puppets on a revolving machine. So when we come across this translation, we come across the Lord dwells in the heart of all being. Okay, when the Lords dwell in the heart of every being, why the Rajoguna and Tamoguna? Why the conversion is there? Why the domination is there? Why the anti-element of the towards the Bharat is there? Because of this, the Bhagavad Gita says, Sattva Rajas Tamas iti guna prakriti sambhava nibadyanti mahabaho dehe dehi namavyayam. This is what, if when we come across the yantra rudha mayaya, when we come across the Lord dwells in every heart of the all being, why this all the anti-element of the Bharat is? Because of that, we come across the shloka called Sattva Rajas Tamas iti gunaha prakriti sambhava nibhadyanti mahabaho dehe dehi mavavyam. Let me give you explanation. Goodness, the spirit of activity, and inertia are the principle of that moving man. They are matter bound, while in the body of the soul, though itself immutable, it's tied up to the move by this quality. When these all are the combination of the body in our own self, there comes the preferentiable of three of the gunas. Yes, preferentiable of three of the gunas. I have explained you as in a previous video. Preferentiable of the position person who takes the sattva guna as his own preferentiable, he will making the all decision as his own sattva guna regarding his own positiveness, and same the positiveness with regarding the environment as well. Okay, when the person takes the rajoguna and a tamoguna, there comes the anti-element towards the Bharat, anti-elements towards the one's individuality. I will be coming the explanation regarding. So okay. So then we come across the we have understood the what is the machine in the process of the Bhagavad Gita. How the machine is telling towards, and the dwellness of all being. If we are having the once we should be thinking of this all thing, because lack of thinking this all thing, the essence of desire of making the understanding of the Bhagavad Gita is making the far away from that. So we should be understanding this all thing, dwell in the heart of all being. Yes, of course there is a Lord dwelling in heart of all being, but why there is a conversion, why there is a domination, why there is a anti-element of the Hindu anti-element towards the Bharat, why this all? Because sattva rajas iti gunaha, sattva rajas tamas iti guna. Because of this I have brought the positivity and the negativity, and the positive thinking and the negative thinking, the series of this, to understand this with regarding the individuality. Why the person is coming, how the person is coming, how the person is approaching, how the what is the tune of his telling. I have given the explanation regarding the sound, vibration and rhythm because of these all things. One should know these all things. What is the meaning of these sattva guna, rajo guna, and tamo guna? One should know how the person is coming towards the sound of what is the sound of how the person is coming towards you, how is behaving with you, what is the behavior of previous behavior of his, and the present behavior and the future behavior. What is he is going to, what the expectation, what the view he is having towards the future action. So you should know this all things because of the understanding of these all things. Okay. Soul. What is the soul? We come across the algorithm. When we come across the programmatic word algorithm, I have said the algorithm. And when we come individuality, we come across the soul. What is the soul mean? Let me give also, that is also with regarding the shloka itself, because Bhagavad Gita is not a small thing that I have made the phrase called the desire, understanding of the desire of the Bhagavad Gita, but it is it actually, one should know the desire of the Bhagavad Gita with influence, with his own self situation, which is presently situation. Present situation is main important to notice for everyone, whether he is in a position or whether he is not in a position. But we should be knowing all the situation, how the situation is going around us, and what the situation we should be taking towards, and what are the execution towards from us with regarding the Bharat, with regarding the position, with regarding the environmental position. We should know these all things. So when we come across the soul, what is the soul mean? In a prospect, I am giving the regarding the Bhagavad Gita soul. What is mean by the soul? Yatha prakashasteka kritsna lokhamimam ravi kshetram kshetri tatha kritsnah prakashayati bharataha. What is it mean? As the one sun irradiates the whole earth, so the soul irradiate whole body. So if we are talking with our own individuality, the soul, we come across the Chetodbhavaya. Om Chetodbhavaya. This is what the Chetana is. This is what Sattva Guna, the increasing of the Sattva Guna is. The execution of the Sattva Guna is. The positiveness of one's individuality. I have taken the Sattva Guna as a positiveness in a previous words. Explanation. This is what the Sattva Guna is, nothing but the positiveness of our own self. Execution of the positiveness of our own self with regarding the environment. With the Sattva Guna as our own self, and the positiveness of our own self with regarding the Bharat as well. So avoiding these all things, person goes with the Ashastra Vihitam. Ghoram Tatpanto. Okay. I will be giving let me give that also. Okay, avoiding these all things, persons goes with the ashastra vitam ghoram tatpanto ye tapo janah dambahankara yukta kama raga balavindatah. The man who performs severe, austerious, unenjoined by the scriptures is nothing but what the tradition we follows, what the Vedas, what the Bhagavad Gita says. As we come across, we are not able to we should understand the Vedas, Pura, and Upanishads. But now, if we are not able to understand that all, we are not shortage of the time. Because of the shortage of the time, we come across the Bhagavad Gita. Understand the Bhagavad Gita. Desire of the understanding of the Bhagavad Gita. This is what I have given. If you understood the Bhagavad Gita, you will be understanding if you of your own self with the execution with regarding the tradition. With regarding the tradition, what are the scriptures is having the positiveness. What the Vedas tells for us, what the Upanishad states tells for us, the same thing dwelled in the Bhagavad Gita. So one should know this all things. If the person is avoiding this Sattva Guna, he comes across the ashastravitam ghoram tatpanto ye tapojana dambahankara yuktam kama raga balavindata. So without his originality, he will be showing off all the things which he is not able to take that position, but he will be showing all the things. This is how the position person is doing towards the individuality to make the action regarding the tamo guna, rajo guna and the tamo guna. So having the individuality who is having the position of taking the sattva guna, they replace the sattva guna with the rajo guna and the tamo guna and make the action regarding and make the all the anti element of the Hindustan, Bharat. So this is how one should understand. This is how the soul is. Soul is nothing but the sattva guna itself. The sattva guna. This is why I have given the irradiating. Soul irradiates the whole body. So when we come across the soul irradiating of his own in his own body, the soul irradiating of his own self is nothing but comfortable of his own self. His comfortable of his own self is nothing but managing of his own thinking. Managing of his own thinking is nothing but determined decision what he has taken. This is how the series will come with our own individuality, with the soul, with our own sattva guna. When we come across the rajo guna and the tamo guna, we come across the different prospect. Yes, one should know what is the sattva guna. Three of the gunas: sattva guna, rajo guna, and tamo guna, and the position of the three of the gunas. The sattva guna position is different. The rajo guna, the tamo guna position is different. The same thing, if the person takes the preferential of the rajo guna and the tamo guna, he will be taking the action regarding the anti element of the Hindustan or Bharat. Bharat, when the Bharat, which is also against the constitution, when we come across the democratical way, against the constitution is nothing but rajo guna and tamo guna. This is how the miracle mongers coming in a light. The work of the miracle mongers is nothing but conversion. The anti element of the Bharat, the position person, makes the conversion of polarization of the situations, and making the misinformation with a particular individuality. So the individuality who is having the position to handle the anger person, he is handling with all the preference of the rajo guna and tamo guna as the execution of his own domination towards. But he is forgetting the fundamentalism of the persons, the children's, you can say it. The position person is forgetting the anger ones fundamental. This is how the avoiding of the fundamentalism is nothing against the avoiding of the fundamentalism of individuality after the 18 is anti-element regarding the constitutional way. Okay. We come across the individuality. I will be taking the explanation regarding. So we come across this in coming explanation. Okay. Understanding of the individual. We come across the soul. The same thing, individuality. What is this individuality with regarding the Bhagavad Gita? Okay. Let me give you that also. We come across. Okay. Okay, this only I have the same thing I have given, no? Individuality. Rajas Sattva Sama. Rajas Sattva Rajas Tamas iti gunaha Prakruti Sambhava Vibhadyanti Mahabaho Dehe Dehi Namavyam. this is how the individuality is. Okay, the individuality is mean by three of the gunas, which related to the nature itself, not with the particular position person who makes the make the action regarding the rajoguna and the tamoguna. I am giving these all with regarding the nature and the sattva guna as a preference. Understanding the rajoguna and the tamoguna as related to the nature with preferentiable of a sattva guna itself. If the person takes the person takes the preference above the three gunas with regarding the rajoguna and the tamoguna, the what I have explained now, what I am explaining now, he will be taking the same explanation with a different way. When the person is taking the explanation as a sattva guna, he will be taking the action as his own individuality in the execution. This is how the explanation is with the sattva guna, preferential of the sattva guna, and also the preferential of the person who is with the rajoguna and the tamoguna, which related to. When we come across the execution, taking the decision is nothing but the expect answer. When we come across the system of a computer system, we come across the decision we nothing but expect answer from the program. So when we come across our own individual, we come across the determined decision. What is mean by determined decision in a Bhagavad Gita? Let us give you that. Okay, we come across yukta ahara viharasya yukta cheshtasya karmasu yukta swapna vabodasya yoga bhavati dukkha. Understand it. Okay, I have explained this shloka in a various time. But let me give you once more. Okay, execution. What is the meaning of the execution? In that aspect, in that view, I will be giving this explanation. Okay, yukta hara viharasya yukta cheshta karmasu yukta swapna vabodasya yogo bhavati dukkha. Okay, yoga, the destroyer of the pain, is for him whose food, diversions, work, sleep and walking are all controlled and regulated. Our controlled and regulated is nothing but our own the control of our own self-control, you can say it. Okay, self-control. When the self-controls come, let me give you. When the self-controls come, when you are in a meditative state. When I am telling the meditative state, what I am indicating it? Yoga. When I am indicating for the yoga, when I am indicating towards the yoga, you come across the meditation. When I am initializing with the meditation with yoga, the meditation is nothing but I am preferring for the devotion. When I am preferring for the devotion, I am initializing the devotion with our own soul. Okay, when I am preferring for the devotion, I am preferring for our own soul with connecting with the deity. The same thing. When we come across the execution of the yoga, we come across these all things. The same thing when we come across the devotion of our own self, mindset of determined mindset, meditative mindset. This is what the managing is. This is what the yukta hara viharasya is. This is what the yukta cheshta. This is what the karmasu. Yukta cheshta karmasu yukta swapna vabodasya yoga bhavati dukkha. This is what the proper management of the three gunas, so that the bodily pain or the environmentally pain is nothing but pain of our own self is having in our own defense of the immune power. Understand it? Defense of immune power. We have the individualness. with regarding the yoga. So it is far away. It is far away because of the time we are not able to reach up to the yoga to take the action regarding the process of the mindset, meditative mindset. Because of that we are not able to understand what is the pain regarding the environmental pain and what is the pain regarding our own self. If we come across the pain regarding the environmental, it is very early. Before that, it is very earlier to know our own self. What is the pain of our own self? What is the pain of our own self? Bodily pain of our own self. The managing of our thinking. The managing of our own thinking is nothing but managing of three of the guna, sattva guna, rajo guna, and tamo guna. Why? What is this three of the gunas? So why the managing of three of the guna is very important? Because managing of three of the guna is very important, because to be determine decision. When we come across the determined decision of our own execution, we come across the proper execution of the our own self with regarding the environmental. So when the environmental position, when we come across the with the execution of the determined decision with regarding the environmental decision, environmental situation, we come across the peace of our own self, the relaxation of our own self. It is different that the situation, what the situation is created from the outside. It is different that the decision is different that. The decision which is created by the others with regarding, in that situation we should be taking the action regarding the three of the guna. If the person is coming with the rajo guna, we should be taking with the rajo guna, but in the sattva, in the view of the sattva guna. So if you will be taking the sattva guna action with regarding the rajo guna, the managing of the three of the guna with the thinking, there will be in the execution. Managing of three of the gunas with thinking, there will be execution with regarding your own mindset of implementing in the decision. This is how one should take the action regarding the understanding of the three of the guna. This is how the meditative mindset is with. This is how the sattva guna is with. This is how the devotion is with. This is how the determined decision with regarding the situation is. This is how the determined decision, the sattva guna with regarding to the Bharat is. So avoiding these all things, the person comes with the domination. Avoiding these all things, the person will come across the domination. Recently we have come across the same thing, the case, Nagpur case of the 2026. Why these all things? Because lack of the understanding this. Even a position person is not able to understand. And the same thing, the person who is not who is manageable of his own self, he is not able to understand. Thus both are the things. So one should understand. If the person is able to understand this, three of the gunas, he will be taking the same. The person who is not in an execution of his own, under his own self, he will be taking towards the sattva guna himself in an ethical manner. In spite of that, he will be taking the domination on others, converging of others, avoiding the fundamentalism of his own, which is provided by the constitution. So when we talk about the Bhagavad Gita is the constitution of our own individuality. So same thing the constitution has implemented for our democratical way. One should understand this, why the constitution is written on the basis of the Bhagavad Gita of the world. Bhagavad Gita is the main constitution of world. You will come across in a few days. You will become across why the Western culture is coming towards the Indian culture. This is how the Bhagavad Gita is teaching for them. They are making the sense of words They are making the sense of the words. What the meaning of this? The same simultaneously they are sensing his own self, his own individuality. On that basis, the world is turning towards the Bharat. This is how the Western culture is coming towards the Indian culture. Western philosophy is coming towards the Indian philosophy, religious philosophy, socio-political philosophy. The Bhagavad Gita says all this. This includes everything. Bhagavad Gita includes the diplomatic way as well as individuality way and the management of all the environmental situations as well. So this is how one should understand the desire of the. This is how I have made the desire of understanding the Bhagavad Gita. When we come across the execution, further explanation. When we come across the execution decision, we come across the same thing. Same thing. Three of the gunas. Okay. When there is a three of the guna, we have come across of our own self with related to the nature itself, not with related to the some other situation which is created by the environmental with the or with the position person or with the polarization of the position person. We are not talking about that, but we are talking with the sattva guna itself, which and also we are talking with the rajoguna and tamoguna with the preference level of the sattva guna itself. Okay, which is be given by the nature. We are taking that. Conflict of interest. If the conflict of interest, what is the conflict of interest? We should be taking the commitment on the conflict. What is the conflict of interest? If the person takes the sattva instead of sattva guna as his own preferenceable, if he take the rajoguna and the tamoguna, there is a conflict of interest. See, if the person takes the sattva guna as his own self, he will be coming towards the sattva guna as his own self and the execution of the sattva guna itself. The person who takes the rajoguna as a preferenceable of his guna and the tamoguna as his preferenceable of tamoguna as his own preferenceable, he will come across the domination and the conversion and such all the anti-element of the anti-element of Bharat. With regards in a various aspect, various situation, not a single situation, in the various situation. This is how I have made the diversification act of terror in a diversification. Why this all I have made the words to define for the Honorable Supreme Court? Because of this. Person who takes the rajoguna and the tamoguna as his own preference, he come across all the prospects, all the situation prospects, which is very much dominatable for a person, individuality, anti-element of the Bharat. What is this polarization? Polarization is nothing but the positivity in the form of the negative. Positivity in the form of the negative. Negativity in the form of the positive. So polarizing is nothing but the situation. They are converting slowly. They will be coming towards the positivity, as showing as a positive in a position, and making all the intent. Making the intent as a negativity. This is how the polarization is. So one should know these all things, why the situation is converting. If the situation is converting from the from positive to negativity, when the polarization is converting that, we should know the thing is converted from the sattva guna to rajoguna and the tamoguna. The person, here comes the person, individuality person. If the person knows how the thing is coming towards his, what the situation of the position person is speaking, what does the person, how the person is speaking. One should know when the thought is converted, when the polarization when the polarization is occurring his own self, he will be talking with the positiveness, with the positive face, with the negativeness. He will be taking the positive position, but making the negativity of spreading negativity. This is how the person who is observing these all things, he should know his own self and the situation of polarization. The concept of sattva guna and the rajo guna and the tamo guna, how the person is converting. This all one should know. This is applicable for every individuality. If the person is converting, the person should understand that yes, he is converting from the positive position to negative position. So we should take the action regarding what the action should be taken in that particular situation. One should know these all things. This is how conflict of interest. This is how the conflict of interest. Then you should take the action regarding the commitment on interest. If the person is in a positive way, he will be commitment. He will be taking the action regarding commitment on the interest. So if the person is also with the conflict of interest, he will be making all the situation with regarding the same conflict of interest itself. So one should know that these are all the you can say the thinking is nothing but the neural thinking. Nowadays neural network. Program of the neural network is nothing but how the how the command is coming, how the execution of the machine learning. You can understand that of machine learning. What is the machine learning? What is the neural network? What is the program? This all related to the thinking itself. So when we know our own self, we can be implementing the commands on the computer. This is how the artificial intelligence is coming with. This is how the neural network is the basic of the artificial intelligence. So one should know the neural network of his own self, individuality, how the polarization is, how the person is converting. The person has come with the positive intent, positive behavior, but is having the intent of negativity. When he comes with the speech of the negativity, there comes the conflict of interest of his own self. Then what the action you should be taking? Commitment of the interest. Okay. Let me give you what is the conflict of interest is with regarding the Bhagavad Gita. Okay. So that you will be understanding what is the very much, how the explanation I will be giving. Okay. Okay. When the conflict of interest, we come, what is the conflict of the interest? Yathe ghansi samidvagne irbhasma sat krutsna derjuna jnanagni sarva karmani bhasma sat krutsna roti tatha. Okay. Explanation of this is the pronunciation is little difficult. It is difficult to understand. Let me give you this explanation of what is the translation of it. Burning fire reduces the wood to ashes. Okay. Even so, does the fire of knowledge reduces all action to the ashes. We come across the conflict of interest. Okay. When we come across that conflict of interest, when the person is coming with the positiveness and speech, he come across the speeching of the position person with the negative intent, then the knowledge of our own self, individuality, knowledge of our own individuality, we come across the commitment of the interest. What is that? Knowledge reduces all the actions. Knowledge reduces all the actions. If commitment on the interest is nothing but his own understanding, if the person is coming with the positiveness and intent of the negative intent, the speech he have converted from the positiveness into the negativeness, person, one should know yes, person is having the conflict of interest. And what action we should be taking? The same action, commitment on the interest. Commitment of the interest is knowledge of his own understanding, and make all the situation which is regarding the reduces all the action to the ashes. So action, what is the action? If the conflict of interest has occurred, conflict of interest, I have explained the conflict of interest regarding the anti element of the Bharat. So anti element of the Bharat is nothing but there is a action action will be taken from the against the constitution, with regarding the constitution from the positioned person. So there is the conflict of interest. If the person is coming with the conflict of interest, the constitutionally proposed person, individual will be taking the action regarding that. So we should understand, if the action is taking before the action is taking from the constitutionally provided, constitution provides the positioned person understanding of the situation. Before that, we should be taking the action regarding the commitment on interest. This is what the knowledge reduces all the action to ashes. So you are avoiding that the position person who is taking the constitutionally positioned person is taking the action regarding the conflict of interest. But you have taken the action commit on a interest with regarding the Bhagavad Gita, as knowledge reduces all the action. You will be eliminating the action what the constitutionally position person is taking towards the conflict of interest. You should be knowing these all things situation. Before this all things has occurring, one should know these all things, how the person is polarizing. The same thing, when the person is polarizing, the thing has been converted. When the thing has been converted, one should know what the knowledge, his own individuality is nothing but the person is converting. That means we should be taking the action regarding the commitment of the interest. Commitment of the interest is nothing but knowledge of his own self, managing of his own thinking. Managing of his own thinking is nothing but what the action should be taking regarding the situation. So if the action taking regarding the situation, he will be avoiding all the what the constitutionally positioned person is taking regarding the conflict of interest. He will be avoiding all the situation which is directing towards him. He will be avoiding that all by his own knowledge. This is what the knowledge reduces all the action to the ashes. I am talking regarding the position which is regarding the polarization. Understand this also, okay? This is how the conflict of interest, when the conflict of interest is. This is how the commitment on interest. What is the commitment of interest? If the position person is some of the position which is not be which is very horrible. But we should be taking regarding the knowledge reduces all the ashes. Because of that, related to that, before that, if the person is horrible with regarding the situation, I'm talking with the situation, not the polarization. Understand it. Situation is different and a polarization is different. Polarization is nothing but only the communicating words. The situation is nothing but the situation present of his own situation, and the present of his the communicative person is. So when there is a conflict of interest of the situation, we come across the commitment of the interest. How it is the commitment of the interest? The same shlokas we come across the what the Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj has shown for us. What the Sattva Guna, the view of the historical has given us. What is that regarding the shloka? Yadha yadha hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyutyama dharmasya abhyutyama dharmasya tadatmanam srujamyaham paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya dushkrutam dharma sanstanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. So when the situation is coming towards the with regarding the rajoguna and tamoguna, we should be taking the action as your own self. The applicable of the your applicable decision of your own self. I'm not telling that we should, when the person is coming with certain type of the situation, you should be taking the only the knowledge will be reducing all the ashes. You should be taking the action regarding the knowledge. Knowledge is only with regarding the our own self. Understand it. Knowledge is only with regarding our own self. Wisdom is regarding with our own self. The same, the thing, the knowledge and the wisdom, what I am thinking, what I am telling, what I am explaining with regarding our own self. The polarization is nothing but the situation of all the outside situation, the position person who is going in a direction, in a positive direction, implementing that positive direction with a negative intent, the polarization will be coming in between. So understanding these all things, we take the action with regarding our own self, with the knowledge of our own thinking. This is how the knowledge reduces all the action to ashes. Okay, when the situation is occurred, the same situation is yadha yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata, which is very preferable of Bharat, which is very with regarding this constitutional way, with regarding the Bharat, with regarding positiveness of our own self, with regarding the constitution, what the constitution provides, the right to protect our own self. Right to protect of our own self is nothing but it is the fundamental of our own self. When we come across this protect of our own self, protecting of our own self, right to protect of our own self, the same thing the shloka says, yadha yadha hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyutyanam dharmasya tadatmanam srujamyaham paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya dushkrutam. The action is taking toward the situation is coming towards you as a dushkritam. The situation is coming with a dushkritam. Vinashaya dushkritam dharma sansthanataya sambhavami yuge yuge. So sambhavami yuge yuge is nothing but your own execution of your own. So this all the Bhagavad Gita is meant with of our own self, the execution of our own self. So managing of the three of the guna is nothing but the managing of our own with determined decision. So determined decision, when I am telling the determined decision, you should understand that the determined decision is nothing but the decision what you will be taking the action with regarding the situation. Okay, with regarding the situation as well as with the vision of that Bharat. Vision of Bharat, the vision of the execution of the sattva guna of the related to the Bharat. This is how, this is why I have given a phrase called view of Parashurama, vision of Rama. Why I have made this all? View of Parashurama is nothing but one should know the observation of all the situation with regarding the situation with regarding our own self and execution as your own self. This is what the view of the Parashurama, the observation of all things, how it is coming, why it is coming, not the why it is coming. If the person take the position, person taking the two of the negative rajoguna and tamoguna, we should not saying the how why it is coming. Okay, the same thing, vision of the Rama. Vision of the Rama is nothing but we have the positiveness with regarding our own self and with regarding the Bharat. The situation the situation which is coming with towards is regarding the rajoguna and tamoguna. We take action towards the same. This is what the commitment and the interest is. This if the person is coming with conflict of interest, we come across the commitment or the interest. This is how. The same thing, the commit on the conflict of interest is nothing but the knowledge, as well as the this commit on conflict of interest is nothing but is also meant with the thinking positivity with the intent of the negativity. This is what the polarization is. The same thing, what we should be taking action. Knowledge reduces all the action. One should think the what the situation, how the person is converting, how the person is converting in his own speech. So in that situation, we should take the action as we regarding we come across the execution which is applicable of our own self. This is how one should take the action regarding. So when we come across this all explanation, I will be giving the explanation regarding the conflict of interest and commitment on interest with regarding the system as viruses and antiviruses. Okay. So conflict of interest is nothing but viruses. Commitment on interest is nothing but antiviruses. So what is the work of? Let me give the small explanation. It is also small explanation. Let me give you. Conflict of interest is nothing but viruses. They are injecting the virus in the situation. They are injecting them in a rajoguna, sattva-guna to rajoguna, rajoguna to tamoguna. So one should take the action with regarding the sattva-guna as the antivirus, the implementer of the antivirus. So one should have the antivirus as a Bhagavad Gita, his own self. So when you know the antivirus of Bhagavad Gita of your own self, you will be not polarized with the viruses. There is a viruses of a different type. I will be making this all in a coming video. Okay, I will be giving the explanation. So you should be knowing this all. What is the antiviruses? How the virus is coming? What are the antiviruses should be implemented on the virus? So conflict of the interest, when the virus is coming, commitment of the interest, the antivirus should be applied. So be on a series so that I will be giving all the explanation which is related to very well one's individuality in your own understandable method. So if you are having the some of the question, you may comment. I will be making the understanding of the certain situation which is very applicable for you to understand and make the execution as the Sattva Guna with related to the Bharat, with related to the Sattva Guna, which is related to execution of your own Sattva Guna, which will be manage of 3 gunas with related to your own self, with related to the Bharat, with related to the nature, with a determined decision. Okay, be on a series. So take the explanation as the Sattva Guna, your own self, with the Bharat as well. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat, Vande Mataram, Jai Shri Ram.